Hi everybody, I am Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to give you 5 ways to deal with a narcissist, parent per se. So if you don't know, I did grow up with 2 narcissist parents, my dad and his mom, which is my grandmother. 2 narcissist parents. And I was watching a video, an older lady by the name of Olivia the Oracle. She was talking about young people, millennials and post-millennials, and she was basically saying, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all just walk the earth with no care in the world. Something is wrong with y'all. Like, she was just ranting and ranting. And I posed a very important question. A lot of us grow up with narcissist parents. So when you grow up with narcissist parents, you sort of grow up to be kind of cold and stoic, just as a defense mechanism for dealing with a narcissist parent. And she's like, yeah, true. People commenting on what my comment was because it's true. And so I figured, a lot of people in my age group and post-millennials, Generation Z, are kind of jacked up because we had narcissist parents. And I didn't realize I had a narcissist parent probably until about 2015-ish. Now, I was going to therapy. I had been going to therapy off and on for years, and I was explaining my situation to my therapist, and she didn't say, hey, your parents are narcissists. She sort of would say like little keywords, and me being a psychology major, I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology. I sort of put it together, went home, looked it up. I still have like some of my college textbooks here. And then recently I had been watching some YouTube videos. There's a young lady by the name of New Mind Frame. I'm going to put it here. And when I tell you, she spoke about her experience with a narcissist parent, and I was sitting there flabbergasted, hand over my mouth, because it's like, I figured, they were narcissists, but when she put it into perspective, I'm like, yo, textbook narcissist. So let me give you 5 ways that I dealt with having a narcissist parent, because, yeah. And if you want to know more about me dealing with narcissist parents, you want to know more about my story, put it in the comment section. Let me know. Thumbs up the video. I will be happy to share it with you. So the number 1 way to deal with a narcissist parent is don't. Just don't. Now, if you are, a young kid and you are still in high school, or you're a young adult and you still live at home and you can't help it, personally, what I would do when I lived at home with my grandmother is I would literally leave early in the morning, and I would come back when I knew she was like asleep. So I would literally be gone all day just to avoid her, just to, not have my energy disturbed, So minimize how you deal with a narcissist parent. Even if you are still living at home, you just gotta lay in bed all day and pretend you sleep. Even though they're gonna come in your room and shout about how you sleep and you lazy and go in on you. But if you ignore them long enough, they'll go away. Trust me, I'm the queen of ignoring people because I had narcissist parents and I had to do what I had to do, okay? Number 2, poker faces. Poker face. I'm talking about a narcissist will do things to get a reaction out of you. They feed off of your negative reaction. You are their supply, and it just gives them some type of a high for them to say something to you, and they see how you react, and that just makes them just kind of like, yeah. So what I've learned growing up is to that poker face. Like, my grandmother would just be saying stuff out of line, and I would literally just sit there with no facial expression on my face, like, and I'm not giving her a reaction, and it would just make her more mad and more mad, and then finally she would just go away. She would just stop. People can't hide their facial expressions. Me, I can. And it kind of affected me a little, I feel like, as an adult, always having this poker face, because when people are talking to me, it just comes off as if I don't care about certain things. But it's just like, I'm so used to this, having this defense mechanism where I have to just have no facial expression, and not so that the narcissist doesn't feed off of my energy and suck it from me, that it's just something that I just do. And my last boyfriend would be like, you don't care about anything, do you? Like, he would be talking to me and it's not my intentions. Now, I told him, like, listen, sometimes you might talk to me and it might seem like I don't give a shit, but I really do. It's just that this is just how I am. I didn't tell him, yeah, I grew up with 2 narcissist parents. Like, I just didn't go into all of that. I just let him know, like, listen, don't think that I don't care, but it's just how I'm wired, right? He was just upset about that. Like, it was just something that pissed him off. Number 3, I would kill my grandmother and my father with kindness. Like, they would be so mean. Like, when I tell you, like, just sit around me and just say things to, like, rip me apart. I did not know that I was a decent looking person and that I was a nice person at heart until I left the house. Like, I would go to school and I was like Kenya, the popular girl, you know, socialite, and I would get home and I was just like bottom of the barrel, scum of the earth to these people. It was like night and day. And I had a best friend when I was growing up, and I would always be at her house. Anytime her mother will let me spend the night, I will be there. I hated going home. When I tell you, my dad would freaking rip me apart from head to toe. I mean, the man talked about my hair. He talked about me being skinny. He talked about me being tall. Like, it ruined my self-esteem. So as an adult, you know, trying to navigate in the world and your self-esteem as well, you know, other narcissists feed off of that. They can smell that, you know, your confidence isn't as high as it should be, and they go after you. And so my dad, I remember I did this to my grandmother. At first I did it to my grandmother, and then I did it to my dad. In the house, she's going off and on about something, and then finally I turned to her and I said so pleasantly, I said, "Grandma, you know what?" She's like, "What?" I'm like, "You never say anything nice to me." Just like that. And she looked at me sort of like, oh shit. Like, it sort of caught her off guard, because while she's sitting here being rude to me, I just turned around and so sweetly and pleasantly said, "You never say anything nice to me, but okay." Just like that. And she just stopped in her tracks being nasty to me for the moment. And then the same day my dad was doing the same thing, and I hit him with the same thing. "Daddy, you know what? You never say anything nice to me." He did a double take, like, oh snap, and didn't say anything. Like, he just like stopped talking. He was like, "You know what? Okay." And just that just like killed him, stopped him from being rude to me for the moment. Because I was like always a kid that had straight A's in school. You know, I was an upbeat, outgoing kid, and it was like they could never, it was like anytime I got any attention from them, my parents, my grandmother and her, and my father, it was something negative. Not because I was doing something great or they were proud of me or I had on a nice outfit. It was always, "You look nice today." But like, you know, it was like just those underhanded compliments. So kill them with kindness. Even though I was like a kid that would always speak my mind, and I was labeled like a problem child because, you know, I was being disrespected so much. Sometimes I would just be like, I would speak my mind, not, you know, be nasty or rude about it, but I would speak up for myself. Oh, number 4, be self-sufficient and get money. One thing a narcissist can count on is you relying on them. And I remember my father will always say, "If you don't like the way I treat you," because when I got older, I started to tell my dad, like, "Dad, I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way you treat me. It's not nice. Like, you're not being nice to me." And he told me on several occasions, like, "If you don't like the way I treat you, then don't fuck with me then." Just like that. Like, you need me, basically. You gonna need me to do this for you. You gonna call me for this. Like, it was like in his brain, I needed him. Like, I was dependent on him. So he's not gonna change his behavior. Either get with it or get the fuck lost, basically. And normal people, like if someone came up to me and said, "Hey Kenya girl, you know, when you said that about my outfit, it really hurt my feelings. And if I really didn't mean to hurt somebody's feeling," normal people will be like, "You know, girl, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to come off that way. I did not mean to insult you. My bad, girl. Well, I was having a bad day. Disregard. Let's start over for the day." No, not my dad. He was like, "Get with it or get the fuck lost. I don't care about what you think." Like, it was just, like, just so disrespectful growing up. So this is why I feel like I'm very ambitious as well. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I like to get money, okay? And I remember moving out of my grandmother's house. Literally, my son was like 3 years old. I had no furniture, just my clothes. I packed my stuff and left. And she was like, "Where you going?" She saw me moving my stuff. I was like, "Oh, I got a new place." She was like, "That ain't gonna last. You'll be back." I didn't get a good luck. "I hope it works out for you." It was like, that ain't gonna last. You'll be back. And guess what? I had not been back. I was sleeping in my car before I go back. And so I got sufficient and I got my own money and I got it. And when I tell you, when I moved out on my own, I would literally just lay in bed at night in the dark because I never had peace. It was always somebody coming in the room, bothering me, talking shit, and I just never had peace. And what made me really hustle and get my money and save up and move out was when I was about 23 years old, I believe. I was sick. I had the flu, but I wasn't able to rest because my grandmother was constantly just going off about something, like coming in the room telling me I'm a lazy bum, all I do is lay around. Mind you, I was going to college full time, and I was working like 2 jobs, one in the ER at one hospital and one as an anesthesiology tech at another hospital. And so all I needed was like a good night's rest. I figured if I take off for 2 days, use 2 sick days, I'll be good to go and I can go to work. Nope, I kept going to work because I just wanted to get out the house. I could not be there. Next thing you know, I had pneumonia. I'm sitting in bed, and every time I cough, I lie to you not, my right rib cage was like, it's like somebody was punching me. Like Mike Tyson was punching me in the rib cage. It was so painful to cough, and she just wouldn't let me just rest. I was like, Grandma, I'm so sick, please just let me rest. So I went to the hospital because I just wanted to take a nap, right? I was like, I'm going to the hospital because I just need to take a nap. And they was like, girl, you got pneumonia. And I had to stay in the hospital for a week. It's like I couldn't even, you know, get rest. Like the people around me that are supposed to know me and supposed to love me couldn't see past the fact, couldn't see past their own narcissistic, you know, ways that I was literally sick. Like I was literally suffering. Like she couldn't see that I was like genuinely suffering. And me as a mom, like I have a child, and I know like if he's sad or he's sick or something isn't right with him, you know, to know like, okay, let me make sure that this boy is okay. But you had to know that I was literally sick, and you just kept going because you're a narcissist and you need my reaction in order, you know, to get your high or whatever you narcissists get from it. And then number 5, once I, you know, got older, I just began to treat them the same way that they treated me. Basically, you want to be rude to me, I'm gonna be rude back to you. Now I have my own place, I don't have to be there. And not necessarily be disrespectful or talk to my parents rude, but I remember my dad lost his license, and his job was primarily to drive. My dad has a limo and courier service, so he said, Kenya, help me drive, I'll pay $13 an hour. Now $13 an hour isn't anything, and I have my own rent, my own household bills to pay. I said, okay, this is my dad, let me help him out. And I was supposed to be for 8 hours a day, and by the time we got done, it was like 13 hours a day. And then when it was time to get paid, he was like, oh, I'm only paying you for 8 hours a day, and I'm only paying you $9 an hour. So I'm like, how am I supposed to survive on $9 an hour? So then when it was time for me to get paid, he didn't have my money, so he must have been talking about me to the people that work for him or work with him before I got there. So when I got there, I was like, hey, I need my money. He was like, oh, look at her, look at how she about to act, look at her, just look at her. And it's like, he was like trying to make me seem like I was this crazy individual coming in to start some shit. Well, really, I literally just worked for you for 2 weeks, you know, 13-hour days. You said you were gonna pay me $13 an hour. Now you're telling me I'm not getting paid for 13 hours, you know, those 13 hours, but only 8 hours. And you're not giving me $13 an hour like you promised me. You're only giving me 9, so you shorten me, and then you talking junk before I get to the door, so that people could already expect me to come through and already prejudge me, you know, before I even get to the door. So I said, okay, I'm not driving for you anymore, right? Mind you, I was working as a promotional model, and working as a promotional model, if anybody knows about promotional modeling, right now my agencies are paying like $350 flat just for like 2 to 3 hour events. Like I could have been working those events and making, you know, that same amount of money, and freaking that you was gonna pay me in a week in 2 hours. However, out of kindness of my heart, I figured, let me help my dad, you know. And it's just like, okay, I ain't gonna help you drive no more. So now his ass is stuck. You wanna treat me like that? I'm a hey, I don't gotta help you. And it's like, oh, and then he will always hit me with the, why would you wanna do that to your father? And I remember, like when I was younger, my grandmother used to always be like, she would always call me a bitch. She would be like, bitch, every time, right under her breath. So I was telling my cousin, like, yo, she rude. Like, she be sitting there calling me bitches. And my cousin was like, looking at me like, my aunt ain't about to call you no bitch. My aunt don't be talking like that. Like, And then once my cousin came over to the house, and I don't think she realized my cousin was there. My cousin used to do hair, and she was helping me take out my braids or something. And then my grandmother called out to me and asked me a question, and I answered her back, and then all of a sudden she was like, bitch. And my cousin was like, oh. She's like, when you used to say say that. I used to think he was lying. I'm like, yo, I swear, I used to be like, yo, she is lying. Like, it's no way my aunt is talking like that. And then when my cousin heard her, it was like, oh shit, yo, like, you do be telling the truth. Your grandmother is rude to you. So just start treating them the same way that they treat you. They want to treat you rude, you don't gotta be disrespectful because that's your parent, but figure out a way to like get up under their skin, you know what I'm saying, and keep it pushing. They can't call you out for being rude or disrespectful because technically you didn't disrespect them. You just, you know, figured out a way to revert. Basically, you just transmuted that energy and sent it back to them somehow, and now they're mad. So I know I was long-winded in this video, but growing up when you have a narcissist parent, and it's crazy, going to therapy, one thing I realized is that my emotional needs were never met. So while I might, you know, make videos saying that my dad did so much to me financially, it was for his own self. It was for him. It wasn't necessarily for me to be better. It was for him. What he did for me was basically about him, and that's what I realized when I was older. And it's crazy, I would go to school and I would have like the latest shoes, my hair would be late, and girls would literally be jealous of me. And this is why you should never be jealous of anybody of what they got, because when I would go home, it was like cold. Like, I lived in like this cold, like calloused. People were so calloused in my household. They showed me no love, no care, no kind words. I rarely heard any kind words, any loving words. Yet you're jealous because I come to school dressed to the nines and I got money in my pocket, but when I go home at night, I'm just sitting there in this cold place. So if you got parents that loved you and they probably didn't have money to maybe get you the latest Juicy Couture or the latest outfits or whatever, and your parents showed you love, appreciate your parents, and you know that they tried their best to do what they had to do for you, and they might have fell short. Appreciate your parents, because when I tell you, I had everything. I went to private school, you know, going to college. My dad paid like out of pocket for like my tuition for like the first 2 years of college for my semesters. Like, however, it was just like my emotional needs were not met. And I have a son now, and I feel like I overcompensate because I'm always hugging him, or I'm like, have a great day, son, and like trying to just speak positive words over his life. And he's like annoyed sometimes. I'm like, why don't you just let me love you? And it's not that, you know, I'm trying to smother him. It's just like, I just want you to know, like, when you go out into this cold world, like, I got your back. Like, I want you to step out into the world with high self-esteem and confidence, you know. And I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna talk in another video about being like the black sheep. I'm gonna really get into the structure of my family, and I'm gonna break it down. And a lot of family members, my family members, I know y'all secretly watch my videos and y'all wonder what the friction is with, you know, my dad and my grandmother, and y'all about to find out, because it's like I can't really say anything about it, because it's like you're being a problem child, you're starting trouble, you're being a drama child. But I'm gonna speak out. It's like I've been quiet for so long, but I just feel like if you're really curious, I'm gonna let you guys know, okay? So if you grew up with narcissist parents, let me know in the comment section, how did you deal with it? Like, how did you cope? And as an adult, when I was about 28 years old, I tried to talk to my father one last time, and I told him, like, Dad, you know, I really don't like the way that you treat me or whatever. And he basically started laughing in my face, like, oh girl, be quiet. Like didn't really take my feelings into consideration, and basically told me, like, listen, again, if you don't like me, then don't fuck with me. And then guess what, that was the last time he ever spoke to me. And I just never looked back, because as an adult, you control your happiness, you control how your life is going forward. So if your parents were abusive in any way to you, whether it be physically, mentally, verbally, as an adult, you know, don't feel bad about, you know, those are my parents. You know, you're not put on this earth to be abused and talked to crazy. You're put on this earth to be, you know, the best you can be. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just being the best me that I could be. So if you are here to the end of this video, I want to thank you guys for coming to kick it with me today. I will see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles.